If you need a quick full body workout that you can easily do anywhere, this is the one. Hey, before we get started though, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get to it. So let's get you warmed up and prepared for everything that we have coming. And this is gonna be our first movement here. So thumbs up, arms out in front of you. We're gonna pull one thumb high and back, one thumb low and back. I like to call these diagonal arm swings. They feel amazing for your posture. Just press your chest through and then spin your thumbs around so now they meet each other back out in front of your body. Keep going on that side and making sure that as you're pulling your arms apart and then bringing them back together that you're not tipping your body to the side. Torso should be up perfectly straight. We're gonna do two more on this side, really feeling those shoulder blades round and then pull together, spread apart, and pull together. Okay, so let's switch directions now. So now your other hand goes high with the other one low. Thumbs are pulling apart and coming together, and you're really actively using your muscles to pull your arms through those motions, bringing that heat, bringing that preparation into your joint here. So go ahead and release. You can shake it out a little bit, and we're gonna plant your feet wide now. So feet are parallel, making sure that they're not pointed out. We want them perfectly parallel, so it might require you to spin your heels out just a little bit. Knees are soft, and all we're gonna do here is hinge into your hip. So you're just hinging forward and then standing all the way back up straight. So we're just folding at the hip socket, pushing your hips out behind you. This is not a squat, it's a hinge, and then climb back up straight. So we're really activating these glute muscles here. Creating that hinging action is so important for your body to know how to hinge properly. This is one of those movements that will instantly transfer to things that you do all around the house, all around your life, everyday life stuff. This is great. Here, let's go one more just like this, pushing those hip bones back and standing up. Great job. So feet can stay planted in the same position. Let's find more of a squat. So still kind of hinged, but a little deeper. And we're gonna prop your knees open by placing your elbow on the inside of one knee and your hand against the other knee. And that acts as like a strut, so it doesn't allow your knees to pinch together. Fingertips are down towards the floor, sitting nice and deep. Let's reach this right arm up really high up to the sky, spinning your chest, creating that big rotational reach. Fingertips come back down to the floor, reach again, back down. Let's go two more on this side. Hips are staying low. The lower you can get them here, the better it is for your back, okay? Let's switch sides. So now your knees are propped open with the other arm. We're gonna spin open the other way. I like to really use my thumb to guide the motion, to kind of pull my arm back so my arm is following my thumb. Exhaling at the top. Let's go one more, just like that, and release. Go ahead and stand all the way back up. Reach your arms overhead. So now your arms are in the shape of a Y with your thumbs pointing back behind you. And now we're gonna squat down. So we're gonna sit into your hips without your knees caving inward. Keep your knees open and stand right back up. Your body is gonna wanna lean forward, and you wanna make sure that you're staying as upright as you can, okay? So sitting into your hips, right back up. Down and up here. Let's do about 3 more reps. Last one there, and release. So everything should feel prepared and warmed up, and we're gonna climb all the way down on the floor into what's actually called a quadruped position. It's kind of a fancy name. Every day you need to learn a new word, and that could be your word for the day, okay? So shoulders are right over your hands, quadruped position, fingertips are spread. We're gonna make sure that your back is not arched too much or tucked under. Find that neutral spine. Tuck your toes under. We're gonna pop the knees up off the floor so that they're hovering. In this moment, this is called your bear crawl position. We're gonna shift back and forth between this position here and then up in a downward dog. So use the strength of your arms and shoulders to push you up and back. Bring your knees back close to the floor, get them close, and then go right back up. Back and forth between these two positions. We're not staying in each position for very long. Let's go 2 more here. Shoulders are right over the hands. This is definitely one of those exercises where you're like, I'm not sure exactly what I'm working here, but I can tell it's hard. So go ahead and set your knees all the way down. Same position here. Really draw your belly up towards your spine so that you're not sagging in this position. So core is engaged. Let's extend your left leg straight out behind you, pressing that heel back, spreading your fingertips straight forward. So pressing your right arm straight forward. Without rounding or arching at your low back, we're gonna lower arm and leg to the floor, just tap them on the floor and lift again. We're just gonna lower and lift, making sure that nothing moves as you're doing these lifts and lowers. Last one here, and set it down. Switch sides, so extend the right leg straight out behind you, press that heel back, draw your belly towards your spine, thumbs are pointed up to the sky, lower down, and lift. 1, 2, shoulders are right over that hand, 3, 4, one more, and 5, great job. Let's sit down on the floor. We're gonna flip over onto your back now, and we're gonna find bridges, okay? So feet are planted, about hip width apart. Weight is through your heels. We're gonna squeeze your buns and lift your hips up. Make sure that you're not overarching, just come to neutral and lower back down. We've got a lot of these. We're gonna go to 10. So there's 2, 3, really squeezing your hips at the top. 4, you'll feel this on the back side of your thigh. 6, 7, good job, just 3 more. 8, 9, 1 more. Great job. Let's go ahead and climb back all the way up onto your feet. Finding that squat stance again. So feet are planted just like we had them in the warm-up. I want you to take your hands and place them on the back of your head, just really lightly, fingertips right behind your ears, and squeeze your elbows back so we kind of fire up and turn on those upper back muscles. Make sure you're not shrugging. Keep your neck long, and we're just gonna sit down into squats. Okay, so once again, making sure that those knees don't cave in towards each other, really sit back into your hips. There's 4, 5, we're going to 10 here, 6, keep those elbows back, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Great job. Release the arms, and we're gonna find that bent over position again. So this is more of a hip hinge, okay? So fingertips are gonna just be dangling down to the floor. Keep your chin tucked. That will protect your neck in this position. We're gonna work those upper back muscles. Pull your thumbs back like a T and release. Pull your arms back like a T. There's 2, keep your weight all the way back in your hips. 3, 4, 1 more. Stay in this position though, because we're gonna squeeze your arms back like a W. So now your hands kind of open up like a W. Backs of your hands are facing the ceiling. 4, 1 more here. Squeeze between the shoulder blades and release. Good job. Go ahead and stand all the way up, and we're gonna plant your feet wide. So feet are now a lot wider than hip width apart. Rotate toes inwards, so heels are wider than your toes. And we're gonna shift all your weight over to this right hip. That left leg is going to stay straight. So we're sitting, kind of squatting into this right leg, making sure that this knee stays right above your foot. Reach your arms forward and then push through that leg to rise back up. Let's keep going to this side. Push through the outside edge of that right foot to rise up. There's 3. Sit back into that hip. 4, 1 more. 5, switch sides. So now we're gonna sit over to this hip. Weight is along the outside edge of that left foot. 1. Push to rise. 2, 3, 4, 1 more here. And 5. Okay, we're gonna run through all of those again. So now these are familiar or fairly familiar to you. So we're gonna move just a touch quicker. So fingertips are spread. This is that quadruped position again. So shoulders are right over your hands. Toes are tucked. Let's pop the knees up off the floor just a touch. In that moment, our core has engaged. We're gonna shift between this strong position. Hips go really high and back, heels drop down, weight presses back towards your thighs, downward dog. Let's go 5 of these. So weight comes back forward, knees get close, then back up. There's 2, Strong shoulders, right over hands. Push through your shoulders to rise back up. 3, 4, one more, just like this. And 5, this time we're gonna set the knees down. Extend the right leg straight out behind you. Left arm goes forward. Draw your belly towards your spine so that you're not overarched. Let's lower and lift. 1, 2, maintain your balance. Don't shift your weight into your left hip here. Try to keep it even between your hand and your foot. Go ahead and set that down. Let's extend the left leg straight out behind you. Right fingertips straight forward. Belly pulls up in towards your spine. Let's lower and lift. 2, squeeze your glute to lift it. 3, 4, keep your chin tucked. And 5, nice work. Let's lay onto your back. It feels like a brief rest, but we're still working in this position. Feet are planted, heels are digging down into the floor. Squeeze your glutes and we're gonna lift those hips up nice and flat. 1, 2, make sure that you're rising up evenly and you're not shifting your weight around, pushing more through one leg than the other. Halfway there. There's 6, 7, if you can wiggle your toes, that's a good thing. 9, one more here. Good job. Okay, rise all the way back up onto your feet. We're gonna find our way to that squat position again. So feet are planted parallel, fingertips are up behind your head. Squeeze the elbows back, keep your neck long. We don't wanna shrug the shoulders up. Neck stays long. Let's sit into a squat. 1. Think about pushing the ground away from you to rise. Rather than like your body moving, you can kind of imagine the floor is the thing that's moving. So push it away from you to stand back up. Let's call that 7. I'm a notoriously terrible counter, so we're gonna pretend that I'm on track. Let's go one more here. Great job. Okay, release the hands. We're gonna find that hinged over, bent over position. Knees do not collapse inward, keep them open. Fingertips are dangling, chin stays tucked. Let's pull back into a T. 2, weight should be really far back into your hips. 3, 4, 5, switch to that W now. Squeezing at the base of your shoulder blades. 2, these are all those posture muscles. Upper back muscles. Our front side of our body works so hard. We gotta really activate and strengthen the back side of the body. Go ahead and stand up. Plant your feet wide. Toes are rotated in just slightly. Heels are wide. We're gonna sit over to this hip. That leg stays straight. Push that knee back, sitting over into this hip. Let's reach the arms forward this time. Not to the side, not over there. Reach them straight forward. Sit really low and push straight up. Sit down. 2. Push. Once again, it's kind of a squat. So think about like you're trying to push the floor away from you, as if the floor itself could move. Let's go this way. So we're sitting back into this hip, push. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great job. So we made it through that circuit twice through, and I want to take you through some great just stretches to cool down. This first one is just a revisit from the warm-up portion. Our diagonal arm swings, okay? So elbows are straight, thumbs are pulling back, one arm high, one arm low. Really press your chest through any chance we get to work those posture muscles and to fix and correct your posture, the better. Okay, switch sides on this next one. So pull one thumb high, one thumb low, making sure you're not side bending your body. See how much you can get your shoulder blades to move. It's always like a good little challenge that you can give yourself. How much motion can I get out of my shoulder blades? That's good. Okay, so this next one is probably one of my favorite stretches. We're gonna hinge over, fingertips to the floor. I want you to see if you can straighten your right leg. It's okay if it doesn't get totally straight. You can be slightly bent. Left knee's really bent. Let's reach the right arm up to the sky. I love this stretch because you get that long line all the way down your hamstrings. You can certainly do this using a yoga block for a little added height if it's too hard to get that hamstring straight. reaching that arm up. Deep breath here. Release that side. Let's go to the other side. You can change the height of your yoga block. Pushing into that hip. You want to feel this stretch down the outside edge of that left hip here. Big rotational reach. Go ahead and release. A couple more of my favorite stretches for you. If you need to hold on to a wall for this one, you can. Standing knee is slightly bent. We're gonna reach back, grab this foot, and then try to pull that knee so it's straight down and your hip bone presses forward. We're getting this really good quad and even hip flexor stretch on this side. Think about pulling that knee back. Same time, we're kind of working that balance just a touch. Let's release that foot and do the other side. If you want to challenge your balance here and not hold on to anything, you certainly can. If this is really difficult to be able to grab this foot, just lay it on a chair behind you, and that will still give you a good quad stretch. Okay, one final stretch here, and it is very helpful to hold on to something. We're gonna take your right ankle and cross it up over your left knee, and then I want you to just sit down as if you're sitting into a bar stool, sitting onto a tall chair, so that you're pushing into this hip. This is what I like to call a standing figure 4 stretch. This one feels so good. Let's rise up out of it. One more. Switching sides. Sitting into that left hip here, making sure you're not collapsing. Keep your chest lifted. Sit down, feel the pull through that hip socket, and that feels so good. So we covered so much ground here today, my friend. Very functional. I hope this felt so good for you. And hey, if this routine, if you really love this one, I'm gonna link another one that's really similar to this up above. Make sure to check that out. And hey, go leave a comment below. I would love to know what you thought about this one.